Class 10th Science Chapter 10 Board Question Set 1 Mark. Which is the function of retina in human eye? The retina behaves like a light-sensitive screen on which real and inverted image of an object situated in front of an eye is formed. Name the part of the human eye having light-sensitive layer. Retina. Name the part of the eye first that controls the amount of light entering into the eye. Pupil. That has real inverted image of the object formed on it. Retina. What is the function of the crystalline lens of the eye? It provides the fine adjustment of focal length of eye lens system so as to focus image of objects situated at different distance on the retina. Write the function of iris in the human eye. Iris control the size of pupil. Function of iris and pupil. Iris control the size of pupil. It adjusts in size and therefore helps in regulating the amount of light entering the eye through a variable aperture. Pupil opens when the light is very bright. The pupil becomes very small. However, in dim light, it opens up completely through the relaxation of the iris. What is pupil? The pupil is the small circular transparent aperture whose size is controlled by iris. What is the function of pupil in human eye? It regulates and controls the amount of light entering the eye. When one enters a less lighted room from a place of intense light, he or she able to see anything for some time, but after some time the thing becomes somewhat visible. Why? In bright sunlight, his size of the pupil is small. When one enters a less lighted room, it takes him time for the pupil to expand its size to adjust for dim light. Hence, the person feeling difficulty in seeing for some time, but later on he is able to see the object. What is the name given to the ability of the eye lens to adjust its focal length? So, it is accommodation or accommodating power. State the role of the ciliary muscle in accommodation of eye. To adjust, modify the shape of eye lens so that its focal length can be increased or decreased. What is the least distance of distance vision? The minimum distance at which object can be seen directly without much strain on the eye is called least distance of distance vision. What happens to the image distance from the eye lens in the normal eye when we increase the distance of an object from the eye? Image distance remain unchanged. How does the focal length of an eye lens change when we shift looking from a neighborly object to a distant object? When one shifts looking from a neighborly object to a distant object, the focal length of eye lens increases. What are the value of near point 25 centimeter, far point of the vision of normal adult person? Infinity. Define power of accommodation of eye. It is the property of eye lens to adjust its focal length so as to focus various objects situated at different distance in front of the eye at retina. Class 10 Science Board Question Set 4 Marks 2. In human eye, name the following part: a thin membrane which allow light to enter into the eye. So cornea. B. The muscle which help in changing the focal length of the eye lens. Ciliary muscles. A person can see nearby object but cannot see distant object. So he has nearsightedness. What kind of lens is used in the spectacles of a person suffering from myopia? Concave lens. Name two possible cause of myopia. Excessive curvature of the eye lens, elongation of the eyeball. A boy used spectacles of focal length 60 centimeter. Name the defect of vision he is suffering from. The boy is suffering from myopic eye. What is hypermetropia? Hypermetropia is the defect which of vision in which a person can see distant object but cannot see nearby object. Name two possible cause of hypermetropia. The focal length of eye is too long. Eyeball has become too small. A person advised to wear a spectacle with the convex lens state the different defect of vision he is suffering from. Hypermetropia. A person is able to see objects clearly only when these are lying at distance between 50 centimeter and 300 centimeter from his eye. Name the kind of defect of vision he is suffering from. The person is suffering from myopia. An old person is unable to see clearly nearby object as well as distant object clearly. What defect of vision he is suffering from? The old person is suffering from presbyopia. Dispersion of light. Dispersion of light is splitting of light into its component color on passing through a diffractive medium, example prism. Priya prefers to sit in the front row as she finds it difficult to read the blackboard from the last desk of her classroom. State the defect of vision she is suffering from. Priya is suffering from myopia. Due to gradual weakening of ciliary muscles and diminishing flexibility of the eye lens, a certain defect of vision arises. Write the name of the defect. The defect of the vision is presbyopia. Name the condition resulting due to the eye lens becoming cloudy. That's cataract. What do we get? Why do we get colors when white light passes through a prism? Because light of different color bend through different angle while passing through a prism. Name the component of white light that deviates the least. Red is deviated the least, the most while passing through a glass prism. Violet light is deviated the most. Name the two phenomena involved in the formation of rainbow: dispersion of light and reflection of light. On what factor does the color of light depends? On wavelength of light. Name the phenomena due to which we get light from the sun before actual sunrise. Atmospheric refraction. Give an example of phenomena where Tyndall effect can be observed. Tyndall effect is seen when a fine beam of sunlight enters a smoke-filled room through a small hole. List the factor on which scattering of light depends. Scattering of light depends on the size of scattering particle and the wavelength of the light. Rainbow. What is rainbow? Rainbow is a natural spectrum formed in the sky after rain shower due to dispersion of light caused by suspended water droplets in atmosphere. What will be the color of sky when it is observed from a place in absence of any atmosphere? Black. What is the color of scattered sunlight when it is observed from a place in the absence of any atmosphere? So the scattered sunlight will appear white. The sky appears dark to the passenger flying at high altitude. Why? Altitude, because there is no scattering of light due to lack of atmosphere. Why is red color selected danger signal light? Because red color is least scattered by fog or smoke. This can be easily seen from a distance. Write the function of each of the following part of human eye. Cornea. Cornea is the outermost plugged out thin transparent layer of eye and provide most of the refraction of light entering into the eye. Iris. Iris controls the size of the pupil of the eye. Crystalline lens. The crystalline lens provides the finer adjustment of focal length required so as to focus object situated at different distance in front of the eye on retina. Ciliary muscles. The ciliary muscles help in controlling the curvature of crystalline lens, thus can change the power of the crystalline lens. What is the function of iris and pupil? So iris control the size of the pupil. It adjusts in size and therefore helps in regulating the amount of light entering the eye through a variable aperture pupil. When the light is very bright, the pupil becomes very small. However, in dim light, it opens up completely through the relaxation of iris. Define the term power of accommodation. Write the modification in the curvature of my eye which enable us to see the nearby objects clearly. So, accommodation power is the property of eye lens to adjust its focal length so as to focus objects situated at different distance from the eye on the retina. When the ciliary muscles are relaxed, the eye lens becomes thin and its focal length is maximum and equal to the diameter of the eyeball. In this condition, one can see distant objects clearly. At the time of looking at nearby objects, ciliary muscle of eye contract and eye lens become thicker. Consequently, focal length of the eye lens decreases and nearby objects are clearly focused at the retina. There are definite limits of accommodation of eye, healthy normal eye. When do we consider a person to be myopic? List to cause of this defect. How can be this defect of eye corrected? A person is said to have a myopic vision if he can see objects situated near of the eye clearly but cannot see the object distance. If a person can see clearly up to a distance x from the eye, then it means that from the eye, the far point of eye has shifted from infinity to a point O situated at a distance x from the eye. Naturally, light rays coming from a distant object are focused in front of retina of eye. Two possible causes of myopia are either the power of the lens has become more than its normal value due to excessive curvature of the cornea. Second, elongation of eyeball due to some genetic defect. Briefly describe it. Cause and remedy of presbyopia. Presbyopia is a defect of vision generally occurring in a person of advanced age. With aging, the ciliary muscles are gradually weakened and the flexibility of the crystalline lens diminish. Consecutively, the power of accommodation of eye decreases and the person cannot read comfortably and distinctly. Presbyopia can be rectified by the use of convex lens of appropriate power. Sometimes due to weakening of ciliary muscle, the old person develops symptoms of myopia as well as hypermetropia. Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect is the scattering of light by matter particle in the path of light, thus making a visible light beam. Distinguish between presbyopia and hypermetropia. Both are conditions of long-sightedness and are on the account of increased focal length of the eyeball. In hypermetropia, the eye lens becomes thin at the center of the eyeball becomes shorter. On the other hand, if the defect arises due to weakness of ciliary muscle so that they are unable to read the focal length of the defect is called presbyopia, which is usually present in old age. What eye defect is hypermetropia? Hypermetropia name to defect of vision, mention their case and the type of lens used to correct them. Two main defects of vision and their correction are as follow. Myopia. In myopia or nearsightedness, a person can see nearby object clearly but cannot see distant object directly. For a myopic eye, the far point is not at infinity but shifted nearer to the eye. Myopia arises due to either excessive curvature of the cornea or elongation of the eyeball. Myopia can be corrected by using a concave lens whose focal length has same numerical value as the distance of the far point the defective eye. Second, hypermetropia. In hypermetropia or long-sightedness, a person can see distant object distinctly but cannot see nearby objects so clearly. For a long-sightedness eye, the near point is not 25 cm but has shifted away from the eye. Hypermetropia arises either because the focal length of eye is too long or concentration of the eyeball. What is meant by the dispersion of white light? So, when a beam of white light passes through a glass prism, it splits up into its constituents, seven color. The splitting of white light into its constituents color when light passes through a dispersive medium is called dispersion of light. The seven color usually expressed Vibgro, that is violet, indigo, green, yellow, orange, red, constituent of the spectrum of white light. Cause of dispersion. When beam of white light enters a glass prism, the light ray bends down towards the normal on entering into the glass. However, different color of the light bend through different angle with respect to the incident ray. The red light bend at least white, the violet light bend the most, so the ray of different color emerge along different path and thus become distinct. Here, dispersion is caused and spectrum is formed. Explain why the planet do not twinkle but the star twinkle. Stars are very far away from the earth and behaves as almost a point object. The atmosphere is made of seven layers and their refraction indicates keep on changing continuously. So the light ray coming from the star keep on changing their path continuously. As a consequence, the number of rays with time and star appears twinkling. What is atmospheric refraction? Briefly explain. So, atmospheric air layer just near the Earth's surface is comparatively denser and upper layer of atmosphere are successively rarer. Hence, a light ray passing through atmospheric air undergoes refraction since the physical conditions of the air are not stationary. The apparent position of the distant object as seen through the air fluctuates. It is known as the effect of atmospheric refraction. Light coming from a distant star on entering into the Earth's atmosphere gradually bend towards the normal. The stars appear higher from horizon than they actually are. Explain why so. As we go up in Earth atmosphere, it goes on becoming rarer and rarer. As a result, the atmosphere layer near the Earth's surface has maximum refractive index. So, ray from a star enters into Earth atmosphere. It travels from rarer to denser medium and hence continues to bend downwards and normal. How we are able to observe the sunrise about 2 minutes before and the sun gets over the horizon. So the air becomes rarer as its height is above the earth increases, its refractive index decreases. A ray of light from the sun when it enters the atmosphere at the horizon gets reflected from a ray to a denser medium. The ray therefore gradually bends towards the sun and the sun appears to be 2 minute rise. What is cause of dispersion? When a beam of white light passes through a glass prism, it splits up into its constituent seven color. The splitting of light into its constituent color when light passes through a diffractive medium is called dispersion of light. What is scattering of light? Scattering of light is the phenomena of interplay of light with minute-sized particles. As a result of such interplay, light spreads in different directions and also becomes visible. The Earth's atmosphere is a heterozygous mixture of minute particles including smoke, the water droplets, suspended dust particle and molecule of air. When a beam of light strikes such fine particle, the path becomes more visible due to scattering of light. How is rainbow formed? A rainbow is a natural spectrum appear in the sky after a rain shower. Rainbow is caused by dispersion of sunlight by tiny water droplets hanging in the atmosphere after a rain shower. The water droplets act like small prisms that reflected internally and finally reflected again and come out of the raindrop due to the dispersion of internally reflected of light. Different color reaches the observer eye and the rainbow is seen. Why scattering of light? What is scattering of light? Use this phenomena to explain why the sun appears reddish at sunrise and the clear sky appears blue. So, the scattering of light is the phenomena of interplay of light with minute-sized particles. As a result of such interplay, light spreads in different directions and also becomes visible. The Earth's atmosphere is a heterozygous mixture of minute particles including smoke, tiny water droplets, suspended dust particles and molecules of air. Where beam of light strikes such fine particles, the path of beam becomes visual due to the scattering. The time of sunrise and the sun is situated near the horizon. Light from the sun therefore covers a large distance in the Earth's atmosphere before reaching an observer's eye. Briefly explain the observed blue color of sky. What would happen if there is no atmosphere on the Earth? The air molecule and the other fine particles present in Earth's atmosphere have sized even smaller than the wavelength of visible light. As a result, there are if there are more effective in scattering of light shorter wavelength at the blue end of spectrum. Amount of scattering of red light is comparatively very small, so when sunlight passes through atmosphere of Earth, blue light scattered much more and spread in all directions. As a result, the sky appears as blue to us. Write the function of each of the following part. Cornea. The function of the given part is stated below. Cornea is the outer blood out thin transparent layer of eye and provide most of the refraction of light entering into eye. The iris control the size of the pupil. The crystalline provide the finer adjustment of focal length required so as to focus objects situated at different distance. The ciliary muscle helps in controlling the curvature of crystalline lens and thus change the power. A student in a The boy is suffering from myopia. When the ciliary muscles are relaxed, the eye lens becomes thin and its focal length is maximum and equal to the diameter of eyeball. In this, at the time of looking at nearby object, the ciliary muscle of eyeball contract and the eye lens become thicker. Consequently, focal length of eye lens decreases and nearby objects are clearly focused at retina. Explain myopia. A person is said to have a myopia vision of he can see objects situated near the eye clearly but cannot see distance object. If the person can see clearly up to a distance x from the eye, this means that far point of the object of his eye has shifted from infinity to a point O. What is long-sightedness? Long-sightedness or far-sightedness or hypermetropia is that defect of vision in which the affected person can see distant object clearly but cannot see nearby objects so clearly. The eye lens can focus from function of iris. The iris controls the size of the pupil. It adjusts in size and therefore helps the regulating the amount of light entering the eye through a variable aperture pupil. When the light is very bright, the pupil becomes very small. However, the light